morning, everyone. Happy first week of Advent to you. This past Sunday, we were talking about how we need to take a moment to pause and reflect on just how important it is to recognize our role now that Christ has indeed come and initiated the process of bringing the kingdom in full to creation. Just so happened the other day, I was looking at an article from a magazine online. It talks about some of the staggering statistics when it comes to our consumerist culture and how much we spend and our wastefulness in America, as compared to the rest of the world. And I'll link the article in the description below in this video here, so I want to encourage you to check that out. But something that really caught my attention was a comment that was left on the link on Facebook to this article. This individual said that they lived in the global South, and it astounded them how they were watching, I believe it was CBS, and they were witnessing this story of an individual who was struggling to live paycheck to paycheck. And that's not to take away from their struggle. There could be a very genuine struggle there, but this individual said it was hard to focus on that when behind them they had a fully functional house, they had 2 cars, 1 for each parent, they had electricity, a full fridge, 3 TVs, all these things that sort of to the rest of the world look like a mansion in some ways. And it struck me very deeply how important it is we take Jesus very seriously, because he multiple times Jesus talks about how dangerous wealth can be. And not just wealth of money, but wealth of resources, wealth of things. The word that he typically uses in the Greek is mammon. And it's a very dangerous, insidious, controlling force in our lives. In Luke 12, I think this is one of the greatest parables to warn us against trying to collect stuff and be covetous and selfish and building all this wealth up for ourselves. And in Luke 12, verse 13, starting on verse 13, he tells the parable of the rich young fool. And the short version is Jesus has these 2 brothers come and he's like, "Hey, tell my brother to split the inheritance with me. I want my share." And it's like Jesus is like, "What? Are you serious? This is what you want to waste my time with?" This is sort of a waste of my energy here. But he goes on to tell this story to warn us, and he says there's this rich man and he has this beautiful farm and it yields just such a massive crop. And he says, wow, I've got all this stuff. What am I going to do with it? I know what I'll do. I'm going to tear down my barns. I'm going to build bigger ones. I'm going to put it away in all these barns. And then I'm going to say to myself, you've got a lot saved up for yourself. Take it easy. Rest, enjoy, be happy, be merry, whatever. And then that very night, Jesus tells us that this man's soul is demanded of him. And he says, this is what's going to happen if we are rich toward ourselves and build up wealth for ourselves, but are not rich toward God. This time of year it's even more heightened that our consumerism kind of takes over. This idea that we need to get more, to have more stuff. It's the simplest way to put it. Instead, I want to encourage you, as we go throughout Advent, but beyond Advent, ask yourself, do I really need another TV? Do I really need that new gaming system? Do I really need whatever it is that I'm desiring most right now? Because chances are we'll survive without it. We've become accustomed to a very plush life, if we're being honest. And yet Jesus is reminding us that's not where life is found. I want to encourage you to keep that in mind. We'll see you next week.